for a few minutes, or you want to start?
Yes, Shabri, can start.
Okay. Good evening, Toastmasters, new members, and esteemed guests. It's really a privilege to be here in front of you again today on another Friday evening. So wonderful these meetings are. I look forward to each and every one of them. Today's meeting has a very special agenda and something that's very close to my heart and something I use on a day-to-day basis. It's about falling down and picking myself up again. Oh, in my line of work in sales, this is a very common routine. Mind you, haven't you ever felt those moments where everything just seems to go your way? You don't put too much of effort and everything just miraculously happens. On the other hand, there are also those days where you're giving your 100 and 200%, but simply nothing ever comes your way. What is the difference? It's all in here. The attitude with which you carry yourself forward gives you that courage to pick yourself up. That attitude with which you speak to somebody or with which you approach a task in your day-to-day life actually allows you to do things with ease without much effort. And that, in essence, is what allows you to pick yourself up every single time you fall. Today, there's a very special person who not only picks himself up every time he falls, but is the epitome of them all, someone who actually helps other people pick themselves up when they fall. A man who was born on this very date many, many years ago, and who till today and forever will help us lead the way, show the way, and guide the way. To hand over this to our very own president, Mr. Ayyappa Ponnachandra.
Thank you so much.
Happy birthday to you, and I hand it over to you.
Thank you, Shabri. Thank you. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to you all.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Welcome you all to this wonderful virtual meeting at Bangalore Toastmasters Club. With that, before I proceed, I declare the meeting number 1265 open. Now I request our secretary, Toastmaster Toastmaster Kamlesh to present the minutes of the last meeting.
Thank you, Ayyappa. Good evening, everyone. So it's my pleasure to give the highlight of the last minutes of the meeting. Meeting started exactly on time, as usual, and we had 41 members and guests together, and we had 4 awardees. I mean, more than the 4 awardees in the category. The best speaker of the evening was Toastmaster Barsa. Best evaluator of the evening was Toastmaster Sudipto Ghosh. Best table topic speaker was DTM Rajdeep. And best role taker for the evening, Toastmaster Jayashree and Srinu. And best tag team player, again, it was Manoj and Toastmaster Pramjyoti. So thank you, and over to you, President.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kamlesh. Dear members, is there any amendments to the minutes read? No? Yes? Thank you so much. I think looks like the minutes are okay. Before I proceed, we have many wonderful guests in our meeting today. We have, I think, all our would-be members, right? Nagesh, Rajiv, Mahendra. I'm not seeing any guests as such. Any guests? Could you please raise your hand? I think nobody is there. Fantastic. I think they will be joining soon.
I can see Kamya.
Yeah, yes. Hi, Kamya, our speech club participant. Sorry, because I've been seeing you for the last couple of weeks, right? I thought you remember. Sorry for that.
No.
Just could you give a bit introduction about yourself? What you do,
So I work for HSBC currently. We are part of Market Data Services. So I am living in Bangalore since my college. BCom I did in CMR College. Yeah, that's about me.
Thank you,
So,
Kamya. Yes. Tell me.
yeah, looking forward to hoping to be a member of Toastmasters very soon.
Thank you, Kamya. We have
Yeah.
Ravi. Ravi, you there? Okay.
Yes, hi,
Let's give.
Ayappa. Good
Yes,
evening.
Ravi. Yes. 1 or 2 lines about you.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. My name is Ravi Kapoor. I have recently moved to Bangalore, and I'm in the profession of training and development. It is an honor to be a part of this meeting and looking forward to join BTMC soon.
Thank you, Ravi. Due to the paucity of time, we cannot talk to each and every guest. Let's give a good round of applause to all our wonderful guests. Today's theme is all about the failure is all about the stepping stone of success. We have many famous personalities. If you just think, for example, we have Amitabh Bachchan, we have Sachin Tendulkar, we have Dhoni, and Sudha Murthy for that matter, and many more. The ad list is on and on. Today, I'm going to talk about one gentleman who was born and brought up from a very poor family in Bangalore. And his father didn't have enough money to educate him. And immediately after the school, he had to start working as a carpenter. He started working as a carpenter and worked even as a coolie for some time. Then after that, he worked as a bus conductor in Bangalore's city service. That's what we have, BMTC buses. Previously, it was called Bangalore City Bus. He worked so hard, he worked relentlessly hard, but he had a passion to become an actor. And however, the difficulty he had, that he did not move out of that, the passion to become an actor. One day saw an advertisement. The Madras Film Institute is offering some acting courses. He wanted to enroll for that. He didn't have the money. And even the parents said, no, because you have a wonderful job now. You're a conductor. Every month you'll be getting a salary. Why you want to take up this course? But his friends and colleagues emotionally supported him and helped financially and joined the acting course. And he did complete the program successfully. And he worked very hard. And of course, even after that, he had a lot of failures in his life. But at one point of time, he never looked back. Hope you guys already know whom I'm talking about. Yes, I'm talking about the one of the Asia's highest paid actor. And we all know, in people in South India, they call him as a god, right? Superstar Rajinikanth I'm talking about. Because we all know many people in their life, they come up hard in their life. It could be overnight success, but behind that overnight success, how much effort they would be having, nobody would have thought about it, right? So we have to, of course, I'm expecting even at least 1% of that success. If I get, I'm so happy about it. So by reading about these stories, life history, journeys, it makes me so happy and it motivates, inspires me to do something great in my life. Even in Toastmasters journey, our Toastmasters founding father, Ralph Smedley. You all know he started the program in the year 1906, and it took almost 20 years to form officially as a Toastmasters club. Can you imagine how much struggle you would have had? No, because that's why it took 20 years. Otherwise, in 1906, by 1907 itself, the Toastmaster club would have been formed. He would have failed miserably, but he did not let it go. I mean, he just came up. Every time fell down, he just came up, and because he had a strong vision, he had a strong dream to make something, to give something to the community, to develop their communication leadership skills. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what it is, because we fail every time in your life. If you say that I never failed in life because I'm a fool, everybody in our life failed. How much? Nobody is born with a silver spoon in our mouth. Even if he's rich, that guy also would have failed miserably in his life. Now, to take the meeting further, we have a gentleman amongst us. He is a software engineer by profession, and he worked, though he is not officially in the committee, is one of the very good helping hands in our committee. Whether it could be the sergeant at arms, his secretary, or whatsoever it is, you just call him; he will be there for us. Very enthusiastic gentleman. Please join me in welcoming the MC, the Toastmaster of the evening, Toastmaster Sanjay Rao.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Ayappa, for that great introduction. So, how many of you here love mathematics? Well, it looks like she does. So I do too, but it was not the same all the time. I hated it when I was in school. I used to find various reasons to skip the tests and exams. And the most favorite reason of mine is stomachache. I used to avoid all the tests. But in my 8th standard, I was not able to do so because the teacher, he used to evaluate our answer sheets right in front of us. So it was my turn, and I also had seen the punishment that the student before me he had received. So I went there and I was standing. He started correcting my answer sheet. So I was terrified and was also sweating very profusely now. He started turning pages, correcting my answer sheet one after the other. He got to the last page. He scored my answer sheet. It was 20 out of 100. I was terrified. He gestured me to come near him. So I went there and he grabbed my ear and he started twisting it and pinching. And the pain, it was very excruciating. I was almost on my toes. I couldn't bear the pain. He had only twisted it for around 20 seconds, but it felt like an eternity. That evening, after I reached home, I looked in the mirror. My ear was bloody with fingernail marks. Uh, I I honestly wanted to do good in my mathematics, but I couldn't understand it. Whatever I did, and I studied very hard, and I secured 80 marks. If I said that, I would be lying. That year, that year I went through a lot of beatings and ear twistings, and I didn't clear the exams at all. So they promoted me to the next class, seeing that I had secured good marks in all other subjects. So I got into ninth standard. And ninth standard exams were near. So then the teacher he called me and he warned me, if you didn't clear the mathematics exam by yourselves, you wouldn't be promoted to 10th, because 10th was a board exam. So I was petrified now because my math skills were not good. So I didn't know what to do. As we have heard the quote, when a student is ready, the master appears. So the master was in the form of my cousin. So he spent weeks teaching me mathematics day and night. So I practiced it almost every day and I didn't give any priority to other subjects. I got better at it and I secured 60 marks that year. In the 10th, I secured 78 marks. In 12th, in 12th, I had evaluated my own answer sheet during the exam itself, and I was pretty confident I wouldn't get anything less than 75. And the results were out. I had secured 78 marks in my 12th exams. And I was on cloud nine, not because of the marks, but because of the ability in mathematics that I had acquired. I was very proud of myself. I tenaciously attempted the mathematics exam and got better each time. This is also true in life. Whenever we try something new, or whether it be academics or anything else in life, the failure is everybody faces the failure, which is also in synchronization with today's theme. Every time we fail or we fall, we try again and we try wiser this time, because this is not the first time that we are trying it. I believe that the next time that we are trying, we are wiser, and if we are willing to learn from our mistakes, we'll achieve the goal that we have set for ourselves. Speaking of rising again, this meeting wouldn't be happening for a wise man's journey, which he rose again and again after facing so many failures. It was raining when about 2 dozen men joined in the basement of YMCA in Santa Ana. They had accepted the invitation to form a club where they practice and train in the art of public speaking. Do you know who I'm speaking about? I am speaking about none other than Mr. Ralph C. Smedley, who was born on February 26, 1978 in Waverly, Illinois, United States. He graduated high school in 1895. In college, he was a member of debating team, and he also was an editor in Westland Argus and manager in Westland Glee Club. The first unofficial meeting of Toastmasters happened on March 24th, 1905, and the first official meeting was conducted on 22nd October 1924. He has revolutionized the Toastmasters process so much that now the Toastmasters is spread across 143 countries, and membership exceeds more than 3,57,000, which spans over 16,600 club. A typical Toastmasters meeting comprises of three parts: prepared speech, table topics, and evaluation. Prepared speech is wherein a speaker comes with prepared speech and gets the feedback and applies the feedbacks to his next speech. Table topics is more like a roller coaster ride. You don't know what will happen, but that's the fun of it. And the evaluation session is where it is overseen by a general evaluator. Speaking of which, I spoke to this general evaluator and I asked him a question. What is love according to you? He told, love is when the heart and souls are in alignment. Help me welcome today's general evaluator, Toastmaster Sudipto. Put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen. Toastmaster Sudipto?
Yeah, hi, Sanjay. Thanks. So today I'm going to, watch over the meeting right from the very start to the end, and look at everything which went well and some of the things which we could do better in this meeting. And at the end, I will come back with a report. Back to you, Sanjay.
And to help assist our general evaluator, we have our tag team. So I would like to call out the timer to read out the guidelines.
Good evening. So my role for today is to keep track of time. If in all prepared speeches, I will be sharing the screen, and they're all 5 to 7 minutes if I'm not wrong. At 5 minutes, I'll be sharing the green screen. At 6 minutes, I'll be sharing the yellow, and at 7 minutes, I'll be sharing the red screen. So that's from my part, and I'll be submitting my report to the general evaluator at the end of the meeting. Back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Achita. So I would like to call upon our counter to read out the rules for the meeting.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. A powerful speech is like a good soup on a rainy day, hot, spicy, and without any lumps. And that's how I wish all of our speeches are today evening. So to ensure we all perfect this skill, I shall be watching over and making notes of all the long pauses, short pauses, crutch words like like, and I would be coming back at the end of the session with my report and presenting it to the general evaluator. Over to you, MC.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Thank you, and I hope that I'll be and everybody else will be making good soups today without any hiccups. I would like to call upon the grammarian to read out the guidelines. Grammarian Toastmaster Smita.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. As the grammarian for today, I'll be looking at the good usages of English language and also not so good usages. I'll keep a tab on them and we'll give the report at the end of the meeting. Today's word of the day is tenacious, meaning tending to keep a firm hold of something. For example, the party has kept its tenacious grip of power for more than 20 years, or the eagle seized its prey in a tenacious grip. So I urge every member who is speaking to use the word of the day. Already our TMOD Sanjay, Toastmaster Sanjay has used it once, so I'll be keeping a tab on it. Over to you, Sanjay.
Thank you, Toastmaster Smita. So everyone tenaciously use the word of the day today. So I urge all the members to use it. And we have a special role wherein this is a very inquisitive role wherein the role taker would be listening to all of us and he'll ask questions at the end of the meeting. So I would like to call upon the listener Toastmaster Raghavendra to read out
Thank you, Sanjay. Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. So my role today is of an active listener. I urge and request everyone in this meeting to pay close attention to the proceedings, the prepared speech and everything. And I'll probably note down some questions and I'll come back with these questions for your answers in the end when called upon. Thank you. Over to you, Sanjay.
Thank you, Toastmaster Raghavendra. So she is an open book and she's so dedicated to her work that she doesn't even remember the last movie that she watched. And when I asked her the question, what is love according to you? She told love is mutual understanding. So I'd like to call upon to read the guidelines for the prepared speech, Toastmaster Sujata, to read out the guidelines for the speech.
Good evening, Sanjay. Good evening, dear Toastmasters and dear guests. The purpose of the project is for the member to speak on any topic, also receive feedback and apply the feedback for the next speech. The speaker should deliver a well-organized speech. The title of the speech is The Road Less Traveled. Timer, please note the time is 5 to 7 minutes. All the very best, Punit. Over to you, Sanjay.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sujata. So the speaker, he is from academics background. He was a HOD in Jain University. In 2019, he decided to risk it all. He took a plunge into the sea of entrepreneurship. And when I asked him, what is love according to you? He told, love is sharing and caring. The speaker is attempting speech 1 from Pathways Personal Mastery. And the title of the speech, The Road Less Travel. And to show how the less travel the road is, put your hands together and help me welcome Toastmaster Puneet.
You know why it's difficult to become an entrepreneur in India? Any answer?
Fear of the unknown.
It's not fear of unknown. It's not public opinion. It's not about lack of product knowledge. It's not lack of perseverance. It's because of neighbor aunties. Good evening, distinguished Toastmaster and fellow Toastmasters. and dear guests. The road less traveled. It all began in 2019 when I decided, as rightly said by Sanjay, to take up the journey in the startup world. I decided in the same area from last 40 years. For the decades, I used to leave at 8 o'clock and come back at 6 o'clock. No differences. But our neighbor aunties noticed after I quit job, I started working from home. For a month later, one auntie walked into my house with a concern of why I am not going to work. Wherein she peeped into my room, she walked in, she asked, Puneet, are you not going for a work? With full of pride, I told, Auntie, no, I'm an employer now. No more an employee. The conversation ended there. No problem, no issues. After a week, when I was jogging in a park, there's a group of aunties, old ladies sitting there. I could notice they're watching me. When I walked near to them, they stopped me. And they started conversing with me. And they started asking, Puneet, why did you quit that job? It is such a noble job, you know, I respect, and lecturer job. How can you leave this? Student look up to you always. I tried to explain them. No, Auntie, I'm doing good. You know, I'm still in academics, but they didn't understand this sort of word. Some of them tried to convince me. In meanwhile, one auntie shared an incident that she asked me, do you know what happened with Preetham? I said, Auntie, which Preetham? The Preetham on the next road, Venkataya's son. Oh yeah, I know him from last 30, 40 years. I was doing some business last 10 years, difficult childhood. Why? What happened? This was pre-COVID. And that's where that aunt said, is no more. Suddenly I was shell-shocked. I was so surprised. I was feeling low. My heartbeat went up to the Eiffel Tower. And I asked, Auntie, what went wrong? I'm sure you said 35, 38, the age. What happened? Is it suicide? Heart attack? Is there some health issues? What went wrong? Before I jumped to conclusion, another auntie was there, helped me not to conclude. She said, no. He's no more in this area. They have shifted their houses to some other area. And they explained, you know, why they shifted their houses? Because they had a huge business loss. I don't want to see you there. So better not to continue this, go back to the same old job. I was feeling so low. What happened to Preetham? Then I inquired with my friends. Then I got to know he has shifted his house, not because of business loss, because of some Vastu problem. These aunties think, you know, somehow they're trying to convince, giving all the serious stories not to take up this journey. I'm dreaming about becoming a Steve Jobs. They think I don't have a better job. You know why it's difficult for me to travel on this road? It's not because of road less travel, because of that journey of roller coaster, because of, I can't answer these aunties, those questions they ask me every time. See, entrepreneurship is about taking risk. And I've taken such a risk even today, commenting on ladies. And my evaluator is Sujata ma'am. Yes, my friends. There are so many funny moments I experienced in the last 2 years. With all those funny moments, there are so many humiliating moments in the last 2 years, which not just humiliated, but put me down. It's 2 years since I got my first check with no revenue, not sure about what is my product, how to hit the market, failed in presentation, sent out of the college. My friends, whomever I called, they're so happy to wish me on a birthday, but not ready to help me connect. With all these things, something made me to tenacious about my passion. That's my family, and yes, some of my friends. When I say my family, when I was feeling low, my wife came up to me and said, Puneet, don't worry, I take care of next 1 year EMI. That's why my parents walked in and said, don't worry, I'll take care of kids' fees. And that's where my sister walked in and said, don't worry about my Amma's surgery, cancer surgery, I will pay for that. My friends, not everyone are blessed today. With this support, today I got incubated at PS University and I got pre-seed funding. It's all because of this support by my friends and all my colleagues who came out to me to support this. Not everyone are blessed. One of my friends, Srinivas, he went up to the bank of the river to end his life because he didn't get good support. Luckily, he could recall, he could remember his daughter face and he came back. We searched for him for 5 days. Luckily, he came back. But at the same time, Charit Kashyap, who was at NSRCL IMB, he raised funds. His 25-year age, he raised 25 crores because of his own family support. My friends, there could be an early entrepreneur at your family, at your house. There could be an entrepreneurial husband. There could be an entrepreneurial wife. There could be an entrepreneurial son, daughter, entrepreneurial friend. One wish, one call, one support them to make them travel farther, further and stronger. Not everybody fall there will rise up. What makes a rise up is what the push you give. Let me end this with the quote which I love in Sanskrit. Amantaram aksharam nasti, nasti moola manoshadam, ayogya purusho nasti, yojakastha durlabha. Every aksharas can be mantras. Every leaves can be medicines. Every person can be useful. What lacks is enabler. That entrepreneur. India needs entrepreneurs. We need entrepreneurs. Go out and support. I'm sure many of early entrepreneurs there. There is a Toastmaster club. Ayappa would endorse my statement. If you want any help, give me a call. Give me a call. Thanks a lot. Over to you, Toastmasters.
Thank you, Toastmasters. Puneet. Yes, we all need to risk it all, and just the word entrepreneur. I mean, it just it synchronizes with today's theme. We fall like why we to rise again. So that's in synchronization with today's theme. Just the word entrepreneur, it speaks of that theme. He is in 4D. I mean, he's from 4D. If you're wondering what is 4D, he is in his 40s. When he has some free time, you would find him gardening or mulling over information such as astrology and what have you. And when I asked him, what is love according to you? He said, love yourself so much that you love others. To read out the guidelines for the next speech, I would like to call Toastmaster Manigandan.
Thanks, Sanjay. The speaker is attempting from the pathways, dynamic leadership, level 2, understanding your leadership skills, leadership style. And the purpose of the speech is the purpose of this project is for the member to identify his or her primary leadership style or styles. The purpose of this speech is for the member to share some aspect of his or her primary leadership style or discuss leadership style in general. Timer, please note the time. It's 5 to 7 minutes. All the best to the speaker. Over to you, Sanjay.
Thank you, Toastmaster Manigandan. So, put your hands together and help me welcome to speak about the speech. I aspire to be the leader I never had. Put your hands together and help me welcome Toastmaster Aaron.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sanjay. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. Yes.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Most of us have a leader we look up to, whether it's our Toastmasters club leader, a leader at the office, a teacher at school that we look up to. Most of us have someone in our lives that have helped us in the past or that are helping us right now to grow and prosper. I sat down and I thought about this. I do not currently have an all-rounded leader. I have individuals in various walks of life that have certain leadership qualities that I appreciate and that help me out and that I would love to inculcate in myself. But I did not find an absolute or a complete leader, one that I could look up to in every sense, or one that has completely molded me. Instead, I sat down and I noted down some qualities from different people in different walks of life, and I'll come to some of them. And I wanted to share some experiences with you. What I want to do is talk about a few leadership styles. And not only me, but let us all spend 5 minutes reflecting what kind of leaders are we in the making, whether it's in the club, whether it's at school, the office, at home. The first one that I want to look at is a coercive style of leadership. A coercive style of leadership is somebody that demands immediate compliance. The phrase commonly associated with a coercive style of leadership is do exactly as I tell you, do what I tell you, and do it now. This is a style of leadership that often inflicts fear, intimidation. It can destroy a family, it can destroy a club, it can destroy an organization. The downside is far greater than the upside. And I realized that one may use this, but only in very grave circumstances. And I'll come to that in a bit. For instance, there was a friend of mine who works in investment banking, and some of us know that it's a very high pressure environment with very quick results and rewards that are needed. And they told me that they have bosses at work that even at midnight when they're finishing their day, give them more work to do. And even if they're working on something important, somebody comes up to them and says, drop whatever you're doing, we need to do certain things and we need to deliver it in the next 1 or 2 hours. Now that leads to a certain mindset. It leads to ultimately depression. It leads to anxiety. Some of them suffered panic attacks. Some of them obviously left the organization. So it's not something that can sustain on a day-to-day basis. This is a coercive style. Another very similar style is a pace setting one, where a leader sets very high standards to meet, and the rewards and the parameters that are set are very definitive. And one needs to constantly meet that. Again, it's a very pressuresome environment, very difficult to create a tenacious atmosphere with a pace setting type of leadership. And it's not something that I would recommend on a day-to-day basis. You need a highly motivated team. The team needs to read the leader's mind, and it can often get overwhelming with the kind of pace and the kind of pressure that's in the team. Now, coming to some more favorable ones, and ones which I've experienced, or the ones I've not only experienced, but I want to follow myself. One is a coaching style. The phrase that you associate with the coaching style of leadership is try this, where you try and develop people for the future. It has a high impact on an individual. A leader is a great delegator of work, and you put aside short-term failures because you're only trying to develop individuals. Now, where I first saw a coaching style of a leadership is I used to play cricket for the Karnataka Institute of Cricket, and back then, when as a child, not in the recent past, but when I was practicing batting in the nets, I had a very good defense, front foot and back foot. I had a very good defense. So I would go and you would get 30, 40, 50 balls, and I would primarily defend. The coach called me and said, he's saying your defensive play is great, but how are you going to score runs? I want to see you drive the ball. I want to see you even cut the ball. And the next session, I tried that out. I got out twice. I got bowled out twice. But I realized that I was actually driving the ball and hitting the ball more aggressively. And at the end of that session, he actually said, good job. I'm not worried about you getting out. I'm not worried about you getting out. I'm happy that you're trying new shots and improving. That's the whole point of practicing in the nets. The next one is a democratic style. One which leads to asking people what they think, taking a consensus amongst the team, something which I noticed is often commonly done at this Toastmasters club, for instance. It's all based on respect, it's based on commitment, and you ask everyone to buy in to a particular idea and achieve consensus. I'll give you a very simple example. For instance, at my office, we have interns. And I was very happy because I got good feedback on how we interacted with the interns, because at the end of an internship, one particular individual came to me and said, often interns are not asked for their views. They are just, made to do some research work and, deliver certain products, and that's about it, because they don't have much to contribute because of a lack of experience and technical knowledge. But he said, you actually asked me after reading, you actually asked me what my views are on the subject. And that just made me feel so valued and important. a part of the team doing the work, even though I'm the junior most, with the least amount of say. And that made me very happy. The last one is an affiliative and authoritative style. Now, Sir Richard Branson said that often if you take care of your employees automatically take care of your customers. And I firmly believe this. In an organization, even in a family to an instance, if everyone's happy at home, you take care and you automatically have good relations outside, for instance, in the club, everywhere, right? Now, these are people that have a vision, and they ask people to come and join them in their vision. They're affiliative because they also care about people's inputs, people's values, but they ask people to innovate, to take risks. They guide them with a sense of focus and direction. Obviously, to be an affiliative or an authoritative leader, you need to have technical acumen yourself. For instance, at my past organization, there was a leader with a lot of years of experience but behind him, but he wasn't technically sound. So it just seemed like he was, a dictator in a way, because people didn't look up to him because they were probably technically better than him. And that's why it didn't work. So to conclude, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters and guests, I've seen these 5 styles of leadership. The kind of styles that I want to inculcate the most in myself are authoritative, democratic, and a coaching style to not only bring out the best in individuals around me, at the office, at the club team, with a vision and mission in mind. Thank you, and back to you, Toastmaster Sanjay.
Thank you, Toastmaster Aaron. So definitely, I do will adopt these leadership styles: authoritative, democratic, and coaching. So looking forward to inculcate these leadership in my daily life as well. So the next Toastmaster, he has found his love for reading. I mean, writing. Apologies, writing. So if you're so when I heard writing, the next question that popped in my mind is writing. What genre of writing? So he told thrillers. I was very excited, and I wanted to read one of his short stories. He's into short stories, and he has also realized that he has a keen ear for a podcast as well. And when I asked him what is one thing that nobody in BTMC knows about you, he told me that he likes collecting keychains from around the world. When I asked him the question, what is love according to you? He told me self-acceptance. To read out the guidelines for the next speech, I would like to call Toastmaster Alan.
Yeah, good evening, everyone, and the speaker in particular. The speaker is attempting level 4 project leading your team from the leadership development pathway. The purpose of this project is for a member to lead a small team to the completion of a project. The purpose of this speech is for the member to share some of her experience leading a team. So best of luck to the speaker. Over to you, Sanjay.
Thank you, Toastmaster Alan. He likes reading, and he has got into habit of reading, which he wanted to do from a long time. And he also started doing something that would used to excite him when he was in schools. He has started sketching, and he also cooks delicious meal as well. And something that no one from BMTC knows about him is he also runs a kidswear brand apart from being chartered accountant. When I asked him this question, what is love according to you? He told total acceptance. Acceptance of the good, the bad, and the ugly. To tell us about his next speech titled It's All About Money, Honey, I would like all of you to applaud and welcome Toastmaster Nikhil.
Hi. Thank you, Sanjay. Thank you very much. Together, everyone achieve more. That is an acronym of team. Good evening, Toastmaster and my dear friend. Today, I'm going to share some of my team leading experience with you all. A team is not just the one which we usually found in office culture. A team is there everywhere. Even though when we are at home, we are teaming with our family members to do multiple tasks, sometimes household work, sometimes planning a trip, or planning any surprise birthday parties. Similarly, we do team up with our friends and relatives for many tasks and activities. When you work in a team, the work becomes interesting, creative, and easy because it's require a collaborative effort for more than one individual. That's the benefit of having a team. When COVID-19 hit us in March 2020, we were forced to close offices and public places and completely shift to our home. During these tough times, I've learned most valuable session, or maybe you can say the most valuable lesson about the team building and team leading exercise. Our office was also closed, similarly to many of the offices across the world, and the people were started shifting to work from home. From my IT department, I got the responsibility to make sure that each and every employee has necessary requirement and accessories to make their work from home smoother, and they should not face any hindrances while working from home. These accessories are like Wi-Fi dongle, UPS, laptop, desktop, table, chair, or an online subscription of a meeting tool. We have 70 plus employees in our office, and I was thinking how I'm going to do that. Then I made a team of 4 to 5 team members, and we started discussing how we can go ahead and progress this plan. As it was an online scenario, my first meeting with my team member was over a WhatsApp conference call. We discussed, okay, this is the agenda which we have to do. From a lower level employees to an MD of an office, we need to make sure that each and everyone has sufficient resources to make their migration from work from office to work to home smoother. Then I was of the view, okay, let's do one thing. Why don't we call everyone and see what they need and what they're lacking? Then one of my team members suggests, Nikhil, it's better instead of calling, why don't we create a Google form? And we are like, wow, that's an idea. That's a small benefit you get when you work in a team. We, within a 2-hour time, created a Google form, sent it to all the employees. Within 2 days, we were having the requirement from all the team members from our office. We know what one is lacking, what they are missing, what they need to make their work from home efficient. Similarly, other team members of my team were working to negotiate the prices for the online meeting tool subscription and UPS and the Wi-Fi dongle, etc. Because of a teamwork, it became very easy for us to achieve this greater task in a lower time. Within 3-week time frame, we able to supply the resources to all the employees in the office and made their work from home easy and smoother. And that's not it about it. During the process, we also learned few things. The first one is Google form. I've never created a Google form in my life, and that's the time I've learned how to create a Google form. Second, negotiation skill. All the team members learn a negotiation skill by negotiating for the online subscription of meeting tool, UPS, Wi-Fi dongle, chairs, table, etc. And third, the most important is peer office environment. What we did was we made a call to our peer offices or a company which are in a similar domain we are working to understand what these companies are doing, what kind of facilities they are providing, how they are dealing with the scenario and making their employees work from home easy. The entire process has been done so successfully and has been appreciated by each and every member of the office. We received a lot of thank you messages. That's how, when you have an amazing team in place and you know how to deal with each and every team member, it makes your work very easy and definitely effective. That's about an office part. But similarly, in the home, as the house help was not coming, So we decided, let's team up. Every family member was doing tasks so that no one can get the burden of entire household work. Like Monday, I was doing cleaning. Tuesday, I was doing cooking. Wednesday, I was doing washing. Thursday, I was doing utensils. This way, there's a lot of scope, correct? We are working together, we are learning together. And what I learned was the cooking, which was never in my to-do list. I was not sure, like, I can be a good cook. I'm able to cook dishes, which everyone just loved it. From, I must give credit to actually COVID due to this. Otherwise, I must be doing my only 6 to 5 job. But because of COVID, I got these two unique opportunities to work in a team and leading a team. I can say few valuable lessons which I have learned during this journey are: number one, clear communication, goal, and process. While starting any work within a team, you should clearly know what is your goal and what process you're going to use. Second, ready to evolve. No matter what kind of process you have set, you need to evolve during the process because you don't know what's like ahead. There may be uncertainties and there may be unexpected circumstances. Third, connected with your team. As we say, be tenacious to your team member. You need to make sure you connect with them. Connect is not just for the work. Connect is even at a personal level. Like, how are you doing? How the things going on? When we moved from office to home, what we did, we started a weekly office call. It's like a chit chat call where we were talking to people, discussing the office agenda on a broader level, but on a smaller level, we were doing some events like best cook, best designer, best dancer, best exercise. So it's keep everyone hooked and glued together. Even though we were not an office, we were not missing the office fun. Fourth, accept your mistake. It's okay to do mistake. Even everyone does mistake, but psychological safety you can provide to your team member is let them do mistake, accept it, learn it, and move forward. Fifth, celebrate your win. Whenever you do something good, just celebrate it. Because of COVID, we could not go out. What we did, we sent them the chocolate boxes to each and every employee to say thanks to them for being there and help us even during these tough times. Last one, not the least, you make sure that being a leader, you accept your fault, apologize it, and move forward. That gives the power to the team. There is a famous quote which says, if you want to walk fast, walk alone. But if you want to walk far, walk together. That's the power of team. Thank you, everyone. Have a good day. And back to Toastmaster of the Day, Sanjay.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nikhil. Yes, we definitely need to work together if we need to build a better society, and also that, I mean, that is applicable to today's theme, which is we fall to rise again and again. So that's the part of society wherein something gets destructed and we again keep rebuilding. So it's so beautiful if you look at it in that way. So now for the induction ceremony, I would like to call Toastmaster Hannah.
Yes, thank you so much, Toastmaster Sanjay. We now start our induction ceremony. Fellow Toastmasters, it is now our duty and privilege to induct 5 new members into the Bangalore Toastmasters Club. This is an important occasion for both these new members and for our club. These individuals have come to Toastmasters seeking to improve their communication and leadership, and we now have the opportunity to help them learn, grow, and achieve. I will now call our new members. Toastmasters request you to please withhold your applause until the ceremony is completed. Suma, Chetan, Rajiv, Nagesh, and Mahendra. You are joining a worldwide organization that has helped more than 4 million people learn to communicate more effectively. As members of the Bangalore Toastmasters Club, you will benefit from a proven program of self-development. You will become a part of an outstanding group of people who are dedicated to helping one another in a spirit of sharing and enjoyment. Mr. Vice President Education, Toastmaster Srijit, have these new members been given an opportunity to discuss their needs and goals with the club? Have they been told how the Toastmasters program works and informed of the many benefits they will receive, as well as the obligations of membership?
Yes, Hannah.
Thank you. And if you can please let us know who has been assigned for as mentors to these new members.
Hello.
Yes, Srijit, you can mention the mentor names, please, against member.
Nagesh and Chetan. Am I audible?
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Yes. They would be mentored by Dr. Rajdeep Manwani, and Suma would be mentored by DTM Teresa ma'am, and Mahendra would be Vaidyanathan, Toastmaster Vaidyanathan, and Rajiv would be Sureka ma'am. So these
Thank you
all are
so
the
much.
mentors. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Srijit. To the new members, membership in this club and in Toastmasters International is a privilege that carries with it many rewards. Yet it also places certain obligations upon you. We are a group of people together to do things we could not accomplish alone. Our collective obligation is to grow and improve ourselves and to share our knowledge and experience with fellow members in a spirit of enjoyment. This means you must work diligently toward your own self-development, evaluate other speeches in a spirit of support and sharing, assist the club in reaching its goals, remain positive, and keep a smile on your face. We ask you, new members, to dedicate yourselves to personal growth, to share this great gift with your fellow members, and to help keep this Toastmasters Club strong and dynamic. May I request all the new members to kindly stand, please, and I will say the oath. Yes, and you can please repeat after me. Yes.
Yes. I, Suma,
Chetan,
Mahendra,
Nagesh,
In the presence of my fellow Toastmasters,
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 the presence of my fellow Toastmaster,
the presence of my fellow Toastmasters,
of the Bangalore Toastmasters Club,
of the Bangalore Toastmaster Club,
of Bangalore Toastmasters Club,
of the Bangalore Toastmaster Club,
of the Bangalore Toastmasters Club,
make this
the Bangalore Toastmaster Club,
make this firm obligation,
make this firm obligation,
make this firm obligation,
make this firm application,
make this firm obligation,
make this firm obligation
to attend meetings regularly and prepare fully for each assignment.
to attend meetings regularly and prepare fully for each assignment,
to attend meetings regularly and prepare fully for each assignment,
to attend meeting regularly and prepare for each assignment,
to attend meetings regularly and fully prepare for each assignment,
to attend meetings regularly and fully prepare for each assignment,
to apply myself to the projects outlined in the Toastmasters education program,
to apply myself to the projects outlined in the Toastmasters education program,
to apply myself to the projects outlined in the Toastmasters education program,
to apply myself to the project outlined in the Toastmaster education program,
to apply myself to the project. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, Mahendra, please.
To apply myself to the projects outlined in the Toastmasters education program,
To apply myself completely to the projects outlined in the Toastmasters education program,
to participate actively in club activities, to evaluate others in a positive, constructive manner,
to participate actively in the club activities, to evaluate others in a positive, constructive manner,
to participate actively in club activities, to evaluate others in a positive, constructive manner,
to participate actively in club activities, to evaluate others in a positive, constructive manner.
To participate actively in club activities, to evaluate others in a positive, constructive manner.
Participate in club activities and evaluate others in constructive and positive manner.
To build open, friendly relationships with my fellow members and to bring other new members into the club so that they can also gain the benefits of Toastmasters.
To build open, friendly relationships with my fellow members and to bring other new members into the club so that they can also gain the benefits of Toastmasters.
To build open, friendly relationships with my fellow members and to bring other new members into the club so that they can also gain the benefits of Toastmasters.
To build open, friendly relationship with my fellow members and to bring others new members into the club so that they can also gain the benefit of Toastmasters.
Thank you very much.
I have to repeat. To build open, friendly relationships with my fellow members and to bring other new members into the club so that they can also gain the benefit of Toastmasters.
Yes, thank you so much. May I, you all can please sit down, please.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Very happy to be one of the member of the BTMC family.
Yes, yes, and the club will join you. Just now the club takes their oath to support you. Yes, may I request all the members to kindly switch on their videos and stretch forth your right hand, please. And I will read the oath of the members to the new members. Yeah, we, the members of the Bangalore Toastmasters Club, pledge to support you in your quest for self-development, to provide you with positive, helpful evaluation, to maintain a friendly, supportive atmosphere, to give you opportunities to help others, and to make your Toastmasters membership a rewarding and fulfilling experience. May I request all the Toastmasters to join and give our new members a huge round of applause and welcome, please.
Thank you all.
Over to
Thank
you,
you all.
Toastmaster Sanjay. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Hannah. So I would like to call upon the general evaluator to give his evaluation. Meanwhile, the voting links have been posted in the group and the voting code is 6789. And I urge all the members to please vote. Over to you, general evaluator, Toastmaster Sudipto.
Hey Sanjay, can you hear me fine? My connection has been up and down a little bit.
Yes.
Okay, great. Dear Toastmasters and guests, good evening. Really feels wonderful to be here. We have such a motivating theme for today. In fact, if you look at history, it's replete with people who have stood tall after falling down. How many of you have heard about Dr. Arunima Sinha? Can you give me a quick thumbs up? Okay, no one. Arunima was a national level volleyball and soccer player. She boarded the train from Lucknow to Delhi in April 2011, that is exactly 10 years back. She was thrown out of the coach by thieves trying to rob her gold chain. As she lay on the track, a train passed over her leg. She lay near the track the entire night, bleeding and writhing in pain. It was only next morning that she could be taken to a hospital in Delhi. As part of her treatment, her left leg had to be amputated. While she lay there on the hospital bed, recovering, a miraculous dream engulfed her soul. Picture this, friends. She is lying on the bed. She has a prosthetic left leg, and she resolved to climb Mount Everest. Exactly 2 years later, on May 21st, 2013, she became the first female amputee to scale the peak, and thereby setting a great example on how to rise up with a tenacious application of willpower. And today, in our Toastmasters meeting of 1265, we saw many speakers rise to the occasion. The meeting started off at 6:22 by the Sergeant at Arms Shabari. Shabari, I like the fact that you related the theme to your own sales sales activities. You spoke about the importance of attitude, and what I liked especially is you kept it very short and crisp. Very well done. The only point where I thought you could have spent a little more time is in introducing and talking about our club president. While you did have a introduction for him, but I thought he deserved, given the he's holding the august position of the president of the club. I thought he deserved a much warmer appreciation. Nevertheless, a job very well done, Shabri. Let's hear it for our Sergeant at Arms, Shabri, today. Moving on, we have Rita asking. Kamlesh, again, very justly done. You read out the awardees for the last meeting, and anyway, all the notes have been sent out on the channels. What I felt you could have, done a little better is pick up just one highlight of the meeting, maybe one or two, and just speak about that highlight so that something. What did you take away from last meeting, right? It could be like, let's say, for the last meeting, I guess we could have said, Varsha had us all licking our lips, thinking about the masala dosas. Or you could have talked about Rajdeep sir set the stage on fire with his great tabletop, etc. I mean, whatever. Just pick whatever you think really stood out in the meeting and comment on that, and then you can comment on whether they're awardees or whatever you think. So that's the takeaway for the last meeting, how we remember that. But nevertheless, I thought, given how crisp and professionally you did it, I think let's hear it for Kamlesh as well. Moving on, we have had an ebullient president on the stage, Ayappa. Ayappa, again, you were really ebullient and very sharp on the stage. You are now doing it week after week after week, and every time you have come back with a great narrative on the theme, whether relating it back to your own stories from your own personal life, or other stories from the walks of your life, from the other people's walk of the life. It's always very refreshing to hear you. Today was no different. You had a great story about Rajnikant, especially given that he has been just announced the Dada Saheb Phalke Award for this year. So that's a very very apt timing for the story. I also especially like the fact that you picked up a figure which is very close to the home. I mean, you're talking about a person who's pretty much bred in Bangalore. A lot of his life is spent in the city, and people could relate to him much more. Very well done. And I thought the way you carried the meeting in a short while forward. Again, I have just words of praise on that. So where can I say you could have done better? So my only thought about your speech today, Ayappa, was I somehow felt you did not rehearse enough. The number of the ums, ers I saw in your speech, or the uh, unintended pauses in your speech, I felt you could have done a little more, rehearsing on the side for this story. Other than that, I think it was a great story, very well done, and then you ended with a great introduction to the Toastmaster of the day again. So, folks, let's all hear it for our beloved president. Okay, then we come to the Toastmaster of the day, Sanjay. Sanjay, what a great job you have done today. Right from the time you came to the stage with your very winning smile, I think you connected very warmly with the audience. You managed to keep your smile, and it was a very warm and smile which came from your heart. So I really like the fact how you connected with the audience. You're you had a very calm presence, right? You did not rush through the with whatever you had to speak. Your personal story also, where you narrated about your struggles in mathematics, and how finally, I won't say aced the subject, but finally, did more than satisfactorily for your own self. I mean, showed your personal victory and personal success. Very, again, very apt for the theme of the day. Very well done. And then moving on to the speakers and the role takers, again, that showed how much effort and how much background effort went into your role. I know you connected with me, but given how you narrated uh, things about every speaker, right, and how you could warmly appreciate, not only appreciate, you really brought out the information about each and every speaker, whether it's about the theme of love or something else. Again, you had really great words about both the evaluators and the speakers. I think a job superbly done. Along with that, not only about the introduction about the Toastmasters movement, which anyway most every MC has to have, but you unearthed some very key nuggets about our founding father, Ralph C. Smedley. Some of these I also was not privy to. So again, a job very well done, Sanjay. Really, really loved your intros, loved your smile, loved the comfort level you had on the stage. Uh, how should I say? How can you improve that? Uh, just something just take away for the future. So I know one of the jobs of the Toastmaster of the day is to string the meeting together, and that he or she does by connecting speaker one to speaker two to speaker three, right? And while you had a great attempt in that, I know you, after every speaker, you picked up something about the speech and you commented on the speech. So you were there, you were partially there. The only thing you could have done to close the loop is somehow, take that forward, and knowing, I mean, you could have, known about what the next speaker is going to talk about. You could have asked the speaker and, just mention one line connecting that. Okay, so you go from one speech to the next speech, you talk a line about the next speech or the subject of the next speech, and then you hand it over to the next speaker. I think that's the only thing where, you can take your MC role of, stringing the meeting together to the next level. But other than that, I think a fantastic job done, Sanjay. Let's all unmute and hear it for the speaker. Before we go to the individual speakers and their evaluators, I do want to comment on the induction ceremony. Again, it's really such so heartening to see that, even in this, challenging times, challenging online times, the fact that we are, carving out time, acknowledging and inducting new members, and 5 of those, and in a very professional manner. And I thought it's not that easy to do an online induction with 5 different speakers spread at 5 different places in the city, and I'm sure a lot of background work went into that. You did it very professionally, and I thought you and the entire MC team, I'd really like to commend the team for doing a job so well done. And I do want to welcome all the new members to the club. Welcome to the club, and well, we hope to see great things from you. And let's all hear it for Hannah and the club committee for doing such a great job on us. We will now move on to the speakers and the evaluators. So for the first speech today, we had Puneet, and I will call upon his evaluator Sujata to talk about her observations on the speech. Sujata, over to you.
Thank you, Sudeep sir. Once again, very good evening, dear Toastmasters and dear guests, Puneet in particular. I feel all human beings are entrepreneurs in one or the other way. It's not about ideas, it's about making ideas happen. Only one thing is we should have tenacious grip on our goals. Please do remember that we fall down only to rise up. Puneet, congratulations for your energetic speech. I just love the way you have presented your speech. You had a very good start with high energy. As the project demanded, it was very well organized. You have done a great justice to the speech. The language which you have used was very easy and understandable to everybody. You had a very good tone and volume, and you had a very good eye contact, which is very apt to the virtual stage. You had excellent gestures too, and you have used aptly at the right moments. In your speech, you had even humor also, which made all of us very active. You were very easy while speaking, which I liked it very much. Couple of areas for improvement where I felt was you could have reduced the speed while speaking. I felt little fast to catch, and a few pauses you could have used at the right places. And your speech had, a very good opportunity for using vocal varieties. Like, do you know what happened, Pritam? And you can say, yes, I know. Just like that. You could have used that vocal varieties. Of course, in future, you can use it. It's a small suggestion from my hand. Otherwise, it was very good. And while ending also one sloka you had told me, I just love to hear it was little, a bit faster it was. That also you could have used, little slow would have been better. Otherwise, your speech was very highly energized and excellent. And congratulations for your energetic speech. I would like to hear many more speeches in your future. Thank you, sir. Over to you, Sudeep, sir.
Thank you, Sujata. Very exhaustive and very nicely evaluated. You brought out almost all the points. I think why almost? You brought out all the points I had written down. So really great. I think very, very nicely done. Nothing more to add to your evaluation. And again, Puneet, I love the fact that you started off your speaking journey with your own personal story. Yeah, we could all relate to that personally. Great story. just reiterating what Sujata said, I think you did right through your speech, especially at the end, and I thought maybe because the timer was coming up with all this kind of cards that made you go faster. So I mean, next time, even if you are delayed and the red card or whatever card is up, but I mean, take your time, right? In the sense. Still, take your time, rush through this, don't rush through the speech, and even if it overflows by maybe 20 seconds, that's okay, right? Again, a great job done by both the evaluator and the speaker. Let's hear it for them.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah. Moving on, the next speaker was Aaron, and could I call upon his evaluator, Manikandan, to give his evaluation for the speech. Over to you, Mani.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sudipto. First of all, the network bandwidth is very low, so I'll continue to keep my video off. Sorry for that.
Okay.
Toastmaster Aaron, well done and congratulations for completing the speech. I thought, the speech was very much in line with the project requirement. And the speech also had a very good opening, where you had an opinion about leadership. And you said you couldn't find an all-round leader. And then what actually grabs me was when you said, okay, let us all look into the various types of leadership. So you brought my attention to your speech at that point. That was a turning point when I was listening to your speech. And then you went on to talk about various leadership, what is available. And you also gave anecdotes, be it the banking friend, investment banking friend you had, or your own experience during your cricket coaching. So it was very well done. And also you had a conclusion. And in the conclusion, you were clear on what kind of leadership you want to adopt. So throughout the speech, what I felt was you were confident. The information, the entire speech was very relevant to your project, and it was very informative. Couple of things, if I might suggest, what as a listener, what I felt was, since this is so much technical and had a lot of information, maybe you could have, introduced pauses in between, because the information was continuously flowing, and a pause at the right time would have allowed me to absorb the information little more. That was one. And second, maybe you want to introduce humor into your speech. That would take your speech to the next level. So this would be two of suggestions from my side. As such, I learned a lot from your speech. It was very informative, and I got to know so much about leadership skills today. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster Sudipto.
Thanks, Mani. Very well done. Very well highlighted the key points of the speech. And again, Aaron, I hugely liked your speech. I thought both the comfort level you displayed while speaking and how you could, all the four styles of leadership with very short, crisp examples, you could, make it very clear and succinct for the listeners. Very well done. I really learned a lot from your speech. Nothing more to add. Again, a great job done both by the speaker and by the evaluator. Let's hear it from them. The next speaker on the stage today was Nikhil, and to evaluate him, we have Alan. Alan, could you go ahead?
Yeah. Good evening, everyone, again, to Nikhil in particular. Now, the purpose of your speech of this project was for the member to lead a small team to the completion of a project. The other purpose is for the member to share aspects of his or her experience leading a team. So let's see how you fared, Nikhil. Now, one is you narrated today a very detailed personal story of leading a small team from a work perspective during COVID. And one of the things was that it was extremely relatable, right? Because it's a personal story. Now, having said that, while looking at the guidelines of the speech, you spoke about what you learned, the impact of the leadership experience, and the results of the completed terms, the appreciation that you received, and the success of your takeaways in terms of clear communication. You became process oriented. You learned the importance of being process oriented, to be always ready to evolve and to connect with team members. The fact that you had a smile on your face also added a lot to the speech. Okay. While having said that, and the fact that you've ticked many of these boxes, how do you think, I mean, here are some of the suggestions, with your permission, I would like to give that actually can take your speech to the next level. Now, one of the things that while you smiled throughout your speech, one of the things that happened, or when, especially when narrating a personal story, one of the things that really adds to something like this is voice modulation, right? For example, if you were to start by saying, how many of you are a leader? I didn't think I was a leader, but I explored that aspect during COVID, right? Pause, intrigue, the way of narrating. So then your flow from intro body to your conclusion also becomes well defined. The other aspect is the link of the title, which is, it's all about the money, honey. I didn't know how it related to the context of your speech, which was about clear communication, process oriented again. In between your speech, suddenly you spoke about leading from the home front, which I felt deviated from what you were talking about from your project, which was leading from an office perspective. And I feel that aspect of it diluted the power of your speech. And my better suggestion would have been for you to ask towards the end of your speech. This was my experience. How do you think your leadership experience, how did you experience leadership in COVID? It could have been in the office, it could have been at home or anywhere else. And the last thing I would like to say was that when you ended your speech, you ended by talking about leading and walking together. And the last thing you said was thank you. I would urge you not to say thank you, but to end your speech, pause and hand it over. It has a larger, better impact, right? Having said that, Nikhil, I thoroughly enjoyed your speech. It was very relatable, very personal. There were a lot of parallels that I drew personally for myself, and I'm sure all the people listening to will also agree with me. And you're on the way to really taking your speech delivery to the next level. My thing is, take these suggestions, try and incorporate this speech in other clubs and see how it works out for you. I would love to hear what you think. And over to the general evaluator. Thank you.
Thanks, Alan. A really clinical evaluation. Your keen eye, or should I say the keen ear, you brought out pretty much all the hidden things in the speech, which could be, taken to the next level. Again, Nikhil, I liked your speech hugely, I think. Let me rest it at that. Folks, let's hear it for both the speaker and the evaluator. We will now move on to the tag team. I will start off with the timer of the day, Achutya.
Yeah, good evening again. So the meeting started today at 6:22. The Sergeant at Arms took 1 minute and 45 seconds. The Toastmaster of the day, Sanjay Rao, took 7 minutes 20 seconds for his introduction speech. Toastmaster Ayappa took 5 minutes 38 seconds for his introductory speech. Toastmaster Kamlesh took 46 seconds for his speech. Moving on to the prepared speeches, Toastmaster Puneet took 6 minutes and 58 seconds. Toastmaster Aaron took 7 minutes and 29 seconds. and Toastmaster Nikhil took 7 minutes and 56 seconds. And the evaluators, Toastmaster Sujata took 2 minutes and 51 seconds. Toastmaster Manikandan took 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Toastmaster Allen took 4 minutes and 30 seconds. And our general evaluator took, for the first stretch of introduction, took 12 minutes and 5 seconds. Back to you, general evaluator. Thank you.
Thank you, Aditya. Let's move on to the R counter person doing the R counter role for today, Amit.
Yeah, Sudipto.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah. Engaging speeches by all speakers and evaluators, and the overall level of the club meetings is so high that it made my job easier. And I have restricted myself from nitpicking, and I have made few general observations considering the president, the MC, and the general evaluator have the longest time slot for speaking. They have a few ahs and ums there, which are acceptable considering the format of the meeting. And they did have a few short pauses as well. Coming to the speakers, prepared speeches, most of these speeches were well prepared and almost literally flawless. So I admire all the speakers today for their tenacious effort. Coming to the evaluators, again, since it's mostly impromptu sort of a preparation within the meeting time, there had been a couple of short pauses from the evaluators. And Alan in particular, your catchword seems to be asking the question right. So maybe you could work upon that. Otherwise, the entire meeting flow has been so excellent that I was mostly engrossed in all the wonderful speeches that were presented today. Over to you, G.
Thank you, Amit. I liked the very innovative way you did the report, and I also liked when you had initially introduced your roles. Again, job very well done. Let's go to the grammarian for today, Smita.
Good evening again, Toastmasters. Today was a wonderful day for the grammarian. There were many good usages. It started with Shabri. In essence, lead the way, show the way, guide the way. Relentlessly. Some of the other good usages, it was 20 seconds, but it looked like an eternity. When the student is ready, master appears. Excruciating, ebullient. The road less traveled, worth emulating. Walks of life, compliance, inflict, delegator, commitment, the good, bad, and ugly. Ready to give all, accept it, learn it, celebrate it, were some of the excellent usages. And one or two here and there, if I could find where he could have improved, my ear turned blood red. Would have been a better way of saying it. Some of the places where people could correct your pronunciation, it's entrepreneur, not entrepreneur. It's Jana, not Jana. And it's accessories. BTMC was mistakenly called as BMTC. This very often it happens. But nevertheless, as a grammarian, it was a very good meeting, as most of the role takers and the speakers use the word of the day. Sanjay used it twice. Sudipto, Puneet Raj, Sujata, Aaron, Amit, Nikhil, all use the word tenacious once. So congratulations to the committee for finding out such a good word which everybody could use. Over to you, Sudipto.
Thank you, Smita. First of all, your presence itself is Such a pleasure, and the things you unearthed, the gems you unearthed for today's meeting, great, just too good. Okay, let's go to the listeners for the day, Raghavendra.
Yeah, thank you, Sudipto. So I have some questions. How long did the max teacher twist Toastmaster Sanjay Rao's ear, and for what score?
20
20,
seconds.
20
And
seconds
for
for
what
20
score?
marks. 20 marks.
No, it was 25 marks. Okay. The next one. Who had the problem when Toastmaster Puneet Raj wanted to become entrepreneur?
Neighboring
Aunties.
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 Neighbor
How many
aunties.
of those aunties?
5.
All of them. Okay. How many leadership style did Toastmaster Aaron
5.
speak about?
5.
And what
5.
were those?
4.
Authoritative.
Democratic.
Democratic.
Affiliative.
Okay. Coaching,
And
or the other one?
Yes.
Coercive.
Yeah, coercive. Okay. Then during the lockdown, what did Toastmaster Nikhil do on every Monday and Wednesdays? Household works.
He was cooking
Washing
on
dishes.
Wednesday.
What did he do on Monday?
Okay.
Wednesday he was doing utensil.
Okay. So he did that on Thursday actually. Wednesday he did washing. Monday he did cooking. Over to you, Sudipto.
Thank you, Raghavendra. You just lived one of the tenets of Toastmasters, which is about better listening. You listen very well and made sure all of us do get into that listening habit.
It's very dirty this. I don't know.
Folks, let's all hear it for our tag team or tag plus listener team. A great job done by all of them. Let's just hear it for them. So before I sign off, just a couple of overall observations for the committee. So one thing I really liked, and iPad, this is something you did very well when you called upon at least a couple of guests to talk about themselves. I think that was in between. I think we had dropped that tradition, and I'm really happy to see. I know we can't recognize all the guests if there are too many, but at least giving the opportunity to few of them to speak about themselves. I mean, that's how they connect with us and we connect with you. I think that was very well done. And one point which I thought the committee can look into, and I don't have a solution, but I do find I felt it before also, and I really felt it today in the meeting, and I'm sure the speakers felt it when the timer gives his or her signals about the different cards. Suddenly the screen changes completely to that, or at least majority of the screen changes to the screen color. So as a speaker, it is very disconcerting to suddenly the screen becoming yellow or red or green, right? So again, I understand we need to find a way to give that timer signal without disrupting the meeting, but I'm sure a better way can be found, and I'm sure given how innovative the committee is, they will be able to do that. Just one quote from Confucius, which I really found apt for this occasion. Let me read that out, and I will hand it over. Our greatest glory is not in never failing, but in rising every time we fall. That was Confucius, and that ends me. That brings me to the end of my today's speaking journey. Would like to thank the committee for giving me this opportunity, and back to you, MC of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sudipto, for that wonderful evaluation session. So the voting link for the best evaluator has been posted in the group. So I'll give 30 seconds for all the members to vote.
Sanjay, what is the keyword?
6, 7, 8, 9. Yep. And also I have posted the link for best role taker for the day. And the voting code is 6, 7, 8, 9. So that winds up the evaluation session as well as the prepared speech session for the day. So we will not be having a table topic session today as we are having a business meeting, and the business meeting is exclusively for members. So I would like to hand over the meeting to Mahesh to take forward the meeting. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster Mahesh.
Thanks a lot.